OneOdio just announced the new Studio Max 2 version. These are the new headphones, but as you can see, they are pretty the same in looking at the previews, which I have here basically. So as you can see, they are really similar, both in colors, in looking, and also in the material. But of course, they sound differently, and in this video we will listen how they sound. We will also compare. I've also made some white noise tests, and of course with the help of Jimmy, which probably you already know who is Jimmy. It's this lovely head basically, and as you can see here on the back, this is not coming from Matrix, but is basically a binaural microphone. So we will listen how these two headphones sounds. Hi guys, I'm Steex, audio video production. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome of course to my studio, the place where I try out audio gear. Today I'm gonna test and I'll let you listen how these new Studio Max 1 by OneOdio headphones sounds. And let me say that they are pretty identical, so these and the previous one. They share of course some of the features. Something has changed, and also the sound has changed because the driver has changed. Here the driver is just a bit little, so the new ones has 45 millimeters of driver, while the previous one was 50 millimeters, if you remember. Now of course the second version has been updated with the new Bluetooth, so I think 6.0, while before was the 5. Now there is also less latency if you use these headphones in low latency mode. So before in the Studio Max 1 version was 20 milliseconds, now we are 9 milliseconds, which is really negligible. I also test with some guitar through my audio interface and send with wireless with low latency mode through these headphones. You cannot listen any latency, basically. It's very fast, guys. But before jump into the test, this video is of course sponsored by OneOdio. OneOdio sent me this pair to try out. They didn't tell me how to run this video, what to say, there is no any script. All the opinions will be mine and you will listen, and basically you can judge listening through the test that I've made. So let's start talking about the ergonomic and the looking. As I said, they are identical. Studio Max 1 and Studio Max 2 are identical. The only thing that is different is basically the button of the Bluetooth that you have here, that now, as you can see, you have this slider. You can go from Bluetooth to ULL, which is basically the low latency mode, so ultra low latency, okay? Basically, when you use the headphones in Bluetooth mode, you can use with whatever kind of device, so your phone or whatever, you have some latency. But if you use them only to listen music, for example, doesn't matter. Clearly, you don't have to use these headphones for practicing, let's say, for a guitarist. They want to use Bluetooth kind of headphones because the latency is very terrible via Bluetooth, okay? It's not a technology that you have to use for real-time Bluetooth. But you have, of course, the ultra low latency mode, and you need to use, of course, the transmitter, which is, of course, provided. Works like a charm. Very fast, super stable. I didn't have any problem, basically. I tried also to use with Spotify in my house, no any problem. Very fast. So, of course, these headphones are more for DJs, let's say, because there is this transmission, this low latency mode for, of course, live music. But, you know, they sound pretty good for everyday music, everyday listening music. And if you use the low latency mode, you can also use this for practicing at home. So it's very convenient, very cool. The other differences are, of course, in the tech. So Bluetooth now is 6.5, and the driver now are just a bit little, so 45 millimeters. The other difference is that now you have this lovely carry case. It's very cool, this Archer case. It's like a shell, let's say. So as you can see, here is the transmitter. This is the transmitter. It works very well. As you can see, you have the jack here, plug to place inside your whatever kind of audio interface, also on your phone, for example, and a bunch of cables here. And that's it. These are the differences. So pretty similar, but now let's listen the audio differences between these two headphones. So Studio Max 1 and Studio Max 2. Of course, this test is empirical, so you have to listen this test and judge listening the differences between the Studio Max 1 and Studio Max 2, because we will use 𝙎𝙤𝙬𝙚, which has some microphone inside. It's a binaural microphone, so the sound that you will listen is not the sound that purely you will listen through your ears, because ears are different than microphone, and also ears to ears the sound is different, okay? So this is an empirical test, and it's only to listen the differences between Studio Max 1 and Studio Max 2. So which are the differences? If you listen some more harshness in one headphones compared to the other, well, that means that in that headphones you have just a bit more pronounced high frequencies. The same for the low frequencies or mid frequencies. So this is an empirical test, okay? Let's listen through 𝙎𝙤𝙬𝙚, and then I'll tell you my opinion, because I've listened also maybe some differences with my ears. Okay, you can clearly listen that there are some differences between the Studio Max 1 and Studio Max 2. They don't sound the same, okay? And sometimes, I'm honest, sometimes I like much more the Studio Max 1, but some other times I like much more the Studio Max 2. Depending on the frequencies, my opinion, so with my ears, is that with the Studio Max 2, you have just a bit more low end, and it's pleasant. It's more like an hi-fi, so it's rounded, it's very, very pleasant. It's not so night and day, the difference, but just a bit more. And the other differences are more on mid and high frequencies. The new Studio Max 2 sounds more scooped in the mid frequencies, okay? It's just a bit more scooped, the sound. This could be a bit a problem if you use these headphones to monitor, for example, vocals when you are on live stage, because in Studio Max 1 I listen more pronounced mid, so it's just a bit more open, the sound on the Studio Max 1. On the other hand, on the super high frequencies, I like much more the Studio Max 2, because now the bump on the high frequencies is basically shift more towards the super high frequencies. So you can listen very, very bright tone, especially for the hi-hat. I've tested the headphones, listening different songs and changing between the Studio Max 1 and Studio Max 2, and I clearly listen the boost that in the Studio Max 2 version is higher, the boost. So you can really listen crisper sound, but not harsh, because it's really narrow. You can listen these. That is very, very pleasant. Before, in the Studio Max 1 version, is more open, the curve, but more towards the low-high frequencies, so not super bright. And that could be also just a bit harsh. Could be. So depends on the frequency that we boost on different songs, let's say. Overall, I think that sounds very, very good, the Studio Max 2. I just wanted to have more linear behavior on the mid frequencies. Instead, here we have a bit pronounced scooped sound in the Studio Max 2. However, it depends on your opinion if you like or not this kind of equalization, of course. And I think that this kind of equalization is, of course, more towards to the live club, so for DJs maybe can work better. So you have the link in the description. Let me know what you think about these new headphones. Let me know if you have already used, or if you have in your studio, or if you use every day the Studio Max 1 and you are considering to upgrade or not. So let me know what you think about. Again, thanks to OneOdio that sponsored this video, and I'll see you, of course, in the next video. Bye.